All right, here we go. This one's gonna be a 40 Smith & Wesson versus 10mm test. Today we're gonna be trying out some Underwood. Once again, that is another one Mr. John G sent in to test. He's been sending a ton of stuff lately, so thank you, buddy. Really appreciate you. It's been a huge help, and really appreciate all the support here on the channel. So for the 40, that one is the 115 grain Extreme Defender. This one is the Platinum Edition. That's what that thing looks like. It does have your nickel-plated brass. Is rated 1,400 feet per second. And for 10mm, that one is also the 115 grain Extreme Defender. That same Platinum Edition, same nickel-plated brass, but this one's rated 1,700 feet per second. So we'll see how close we come today. So for a 40, we are going to be testing out of a Beretta 96 FS. That one does have that full-size 4.9-inch barrel. And for 10mm, we're going to be using a Rock Island Ultra FS. That one does also have that full-size 5-inch barrel, so really not too much of a difference. So we'll be going through our gel. Those are 10% calibrated blocks. Do have our catch block behind that, so a total of 22 inches of gel. Our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front. And like always, we'll set up our chronograph so you can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these rounds do head to head. First one up will be that 40 Smith & Wesson. All right, we're setting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. It does sound like we do have a leaker, so we will see. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1397. Rated was 14, so definitely good to see. We almost made it, but even a few feet per second we'll definitely take. All right, so there's the entry. Looks like I got a perfect hit on that block. You can kind of see down in there. It looks like a pretty decent star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, definitely not too bad. So it looks like as soon as that thing came in, definitely started to get some nice disruption. Of course, that thing wasn't opening up. It wasn't meant to. It is a solid copper projectile, but definitely looks like we got some nice disruption. Can't see it, kind of started to settle down a little bit towards that first block. We did make it into that second one, and it looks like we made it all the way out of the second. Even though it had all these jugs, that thing still escaped, so we weren't able to catch it. That's okay. There's nothing really to see there. It just looks like a Phillips head, screwdriver bit, for a bullet. It looks like we barely clipped that thing though, and then it did take off out of that jug. So sorry guys, we weren't able to catch that one, but we'll definitely get the results here, and then we will test that 10mm here in a second. But let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the top. So like always, we'll cut these open just to get a little bit more accurate cross section here later. But so far we are at 2.5 inches, so definitely not too bad. It's good to see that we actually got rated velocity as well. So Underwood's definitely doing a good job there. And that was that full-size barrel. So let's check it out here from the side. Hopefully you guys can see that. Looks like it came in, started to open up really nice. You can see that really nice distinct spiral cut going all the way through. Like I said, it did settle down maybe that last inch or so. We did make it into that second block, and then out of that second block, and then we just clipped our second jug. I'm going to tell you, I'm really not the biggest fan of those things. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm kind of old school. I like just your standard hollow point. These things are just so unpredictable. I know they're great for barriers and all that stuff, but they're very unpredictable, especially in this gel. And I'm sure if you end up clipping, I don't really want to say it, but bone and all that stuff, it's probably going to definitely end up veering pretty good too. But anyways, so let's see. At our widest spot here, we are just shy. It's just shy of that 2-inch mark. So a little bit less from the side than the top, but still pretty darn good. It definitely creates quite a bit of damage. And, like I said, they usually carry the energy a little bit further than your standard hollow point. It's usually the whole 11-inch block compared to, that maybe 8 inches or so before it starts to settle down. So pretty cool to see there. And then you can see that track going all the way through. And then, like I said, we just barely clipped that jug. So not too bad. So let's set up for that. I'm sorry. So that was, these blocks are 11 inches, went through both of them completely. So that's 22 inches, and we just clipped that jug. I'm sure we probably could have stopped it if we actually hit it direct. But, you know, 22 inches of penetration is kind of a lot. But anyway, so let's set up for that 10 millimeter and see how that one does. All right, we're setting back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. As you can tell, that thing is a massive leaker there. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1743. So rated was 17, and you know, we definitely got above that. So that is great to see there. All right, and there's that shot. Looks like you got another really good hit on that block. You can kind of see down in there in a pretty decent star pattern. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, definitely not too bad. So it looks like as soon as that thing came in, started to open up, get some nice disruption through there. These things do definitely have a very distinct, you know, kind of spiral cut path through there. It did start to settle down just a little bit towards the end, but man, once again, it looks like we almost took that same track. It is the one on the right and the same path, and went right through that second block. So that is a ton of penetration. We actually did go through our first jug, and we stopped it right in between. So luckily we're able to catch it. So we are going to be able to show you a bullet here at the end. Unfortunately, we weren't able to find that 40, but you know, they're literally the same exact thing. They're both at 115 grain. But anyways, let's see what kind of measurement we have here from our widest spot. And it looks like we are at 3 inches. So definitely not the most, but you know, still pretty darn impressive. And like I said before, these paths are about the same the whole way through that first 11 inches of block, compared to, like, you know, your standard hollow point where they do start to taper off. But definitely good stuff there. But hopefully you guys are able to see this. You can see as soon as it came in, started getting some nice disruption. You can see those really nice spiral cuts going all the way through that first block. And then, you know, settling down a little bit towards the end, we did make it into that second one, and then all the way through that second one. So, you know, I said it already, it's kind of a little bit too much penetration for me personally that I'm comfortable with. But they definitely do a great job. Definitely some good stuff. So our measures, our widest spot from the side is 2 3/4, so a little bit less from the side than the top. But you know, man, they're definitely an impressive bullet for sure. And there is that second block. It's this little path here on the top, going all the way through. Same thing though, it did hit our jug, go through. We just caught it right in between. It actually caught it and then bounced right off the table. So definitely good stuff there. So let's check these tracks one more time from the top. So the one on the right is that 40, one on the left is that 10 millimeter. And they pretty much both got right on rated velocity, so that's good to see. But you can see pretty much on impact that thing's starting to get some disruption. Maybe, let's say that 1/4 inch mark, you know, where you're starting to see that thing start to open up in there. But you can see that nice distinct pattern going all the way through out of that first one and then into that second one. And like I said, it is that track there on the top. And then here is that 10 millimeter. This one actually looks a little bit more rapid than that 40. Pretty much looks like on impact instead of that 1/4 inch compared to this one, but it's starting to get that disruption. You can see nice wide path going all the way through that first block, man. And then maybe that last 1/4 inch or so, it did start to settle down. And once again, this one is that path on the top going all the way through. But they both exceeded that 22 inches of gel, and then, you know, they made them into that, you know, 6 inches of jug, which is pretty surprising. But definitely some crazy stuff. So let's pull this one round that we're able to catch and see what it looks like. All right, so here it is. Check that thing out. Definitely a good looking bullet for sure. It is a solid copper round, so it's not meant to, you know, expand, but it definitely looks really good. Here's one more little look, a little better angle. You can see those nice deep flutes down in there. Definitely looks like, you know, your Phillips head screwdriver. Really deep rifling cuts too in that bullet. And then this one does have a little bit of a dimple back there, kind of a hollow base. Not as deep as some of them that I've seen, but you could definitely, you know, see that hole. But definitely very surprising. Like I said, this one is the 10 millimeter. If we were gonna, you know, if we were able to catch that 40, it would have been exactly the same. So nothing really different there. So I'm, you know, definitely glad we're able to catch it and see what they're really looking like. But definitely some impressive stuff. So one time from the bottom, you can really see that hole. And last time from the top. So like I always do, we will, you know, rinse this out, get the majority of the gel or whatever's left in it, and get all our still shots, slow-mo, and everything else here at the end. Once again, thank you, Mr. John G, for sending this stuff out for us to test. It was definitely a fun one. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. All right, so there's that 40 cross section. You can definitely see we got some nice big splits. I have been noticing with these, you know, Extreme Defenders, they're not as uniform as, you know, like your standard jacketed hollow point. They more leave just like a straight line compared to like your normal kind of crisscross pattern, but still pretty impressive. So I did remeasure these. They are right at 3 inches, so definitely pretty good for a 40. So let's cut them open. All right, so there's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side and this top is the left. But you can see basically on impact where these things are already starting to, you know, create that disruption in the gel. And then you can see that nice path going all the way through. Definitely, you know, not the most damage, but they track it a lot further, you know, than your standard jacketed hollow point. I know I've said that multiple times, but it's usually what I'm seeing lately in all these tests. And they do have some pretty nice clean cuts, which is pretty good to see. So same on this top side. Like I said, right on impact, they're starting to, you know, tear that stuff up. Nice path going all the way through. And then towards the end too, you know, I usually notice that there is quite a bit of disruption as well. But same thing, nice deep cuts down in there, going all the way through. Let's see one more quick angle. But you can see, you know, a little bit better this way. They do have some nice deep cuts going down in there. Like I said, they are just kind of one way compared to our crazy, like, you know, spider webbing that we get from the other rounds, but still pretty good to see for sure. This one is a little bit different, but pretty nasty stuff. And that thing was right on advertised for that 40, so that's always good to see. But there we go. That one was that 40 Smith & Wesson shot. All right, so there's that 10 millimeter cross section. So pretty much the same as that last one. We definitely got quite a bit of damage. This one does look like it's a little bit more spider webby than, you know, that last, you know, those straight lines. But definitely quite a bit of damage. I did remeasure these. They are pretty much exactly the same, right at that 3 inch mark. It's kind of hard to pick a spot to cut these just because, you know, the way that these things are creating the damage in there. But from what we're getting so far, 3 inches. So definitely not too bad. So let's cut it open. All right, and here's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side and this top is the left. So like we normally do with these ones, we do the whole 11-inch block just because, you know, it carries that damage all the way through. But pretty much same as that last one, right on impact where it's starting to cause that disruption. It does look like there's a little bit of that fabric that it's trying to bring in with it. As you can see that nice wide path going all the way through. And then this one's a little bit more distinct than the 40, but you can really see those nasty tears and cuts down in that gel. And they are very deep. Pretty nasty stuff for sure. So same on this top, came in, started to open up, get that nice disruption all the way through. And then it does look like they, you know, it takes a couple inches before it actually, you know, tapers open a little bit more or opens up before, you know, we're getting that real damage, and then it kind of starts tapering off a little bit towards the end. But it does carry it that whole 11 inches before it does settle down into that second block. But definitely pretty nasty cuts. Pretty deep cuts for sure. And it was good to see that that one exceeded, you know, rated velocity at 1,700 feet per second. So always good to see. But there's one more quick angle. You can see all that damage going on. Still very impressive. It's really, you know, tearing this stuff up, jumbling this gel up. So like I said, that's always good to see. It's just same on this side. Nice big splits down in there. But there we go, guys. That one was that 115 grain Extreme Defender. That one was loaded by Underwood. Thanks again for watching, guys.